International Hawk News splash on the check-in. Thank you for tuning in. This article right here is brought to you by NewYorkPost.com. Man admits to killing missing autistic woman, tells cops where to find her body. You know, we live in a day and age now where anything can be done just by way of your cell phone. You can apply for a loan on your phone. You can apply for a job on your phone. You can send an email. You can create videos and upload it to YouTube and other social media platforms. You can order food, and you can even download ebooks on Kindle. You can also use dating apps to meet the potential love of your life through your phone, okay? Or unfortunately, especially in this case, you can meet your early demise, unfortunately, all right? So you got a guy right here on the left, Harold David Harmon III, and on the right is Erica Schultz. Okay, they described Harold as a transient. He was just always back and forth from Michigan to Pennsylvania. And this guy was actually married. And on an online dating website, he didn't even identify as his real name. He identified as Dave. Okay, and Erica Schultz, she approached the app in good faith. She gave her real name, a real picture, and she started talking to Harold, who she thought was Dave, which David is his middle name, who she thought Dave was his first name, on a website called meetme.com. Now, Erica, she wanted to meet Harold, but Erica had a male friend that said, I don't think you should go on that date. I don't think you should do it. And she told her friend, like, I think everything is going to be fine. I don't think I have anything to worry about. Okay. So Harold is 42 years old and Erica is only 26 years old. Okay. Mind you, she's autistic. All right. It says right here, a search of phone records revealed that the last text message received by Erica was from a cell phone belonging to Harmon that read surprise and knock knock. Police said Harold then surprised Erica on the night she went missing, showing up at her apartment before asking her to go for a drive. Okay, so she gave her address. So FBI investigators then interviewed Harold in Battle Creek, Michigan on December 23rd. Mind you, this woman right here was murdered on December 6th. That was on a Sunday. So they didn't interview him until 17 days later. Now, when they interviewed Harold, they went to his home in Battle Creek, Michigan, or where he was staying in Battle Creek, Michigan, to talk to him. Then they put a tracking device on his truck, on his vehicle, and they tracked him from Michigan all the way to Pennsylvania. It says right here, Harmon didn't show up for a scheduled second interview with FBI investigators a day later and traveled from Michigan through Ohio to Pennsylvania, ending up in Duncannon, Pennsylvania, where his wife lives, early on Christmas Day, the newspaper reported. So this guy was married. He didn't show up for a second interview, and they tracked him. Okay. And then that's when they arrested him. I think they said he was walking down some train tracks, and then they arrested him, and he had admitted to the murder, and he helped the investigators to help find her body. And they don't really say in the article what was his motive behind doing that to this woman. All right. If you want to read more on this article, I'll leave a link in the description box below. I just want to say this. All right. Be careful going on these dating websites. You never know who you're meeting. When there are men out there who use dating platforms the way it's supposed to be used, safe, good intentions, a lot of times they get pushed back. They might match up with a woman who their intentions aren't to meet with anybody on a dating app. They're just like, hey, I'm just on here trying to make friends, just to have a conversation. And I get why, because of situations like this. As a matter of fact, this reminds me of a story a couple years back where there was a Japanese woman. I forget what part of Japan this was. It was just a few years back. There was a guy from New York who flew from New York to Japan to go on vacation for about a month. And he ended up using a dating app, just swiping left and right. He matched with this Japanese woman. They went out. He asked her to come back to his Airbnb spot. She went back with him, and she went into the hostel. Well, actually, I believe it was a hostel. It was a single person hostel. Went into the hostel. The video cameras, they showed him and her going into the hostel, and the video footage the next morning only showed him leaving the hostel. She never made it out of that hostel, which, I mean, she kind of did. What happened was, I believe they had intercourse, but then he ended up killing her and chopping her body up, left half her body in like a suitcase underneath the bed in the hostel, and took the other half of her in a different bag. And then this guy went into the mountains of Japan and spread her body parts in like several different places. What I'm saying is, man, I mean, you never know. This could happen to anybody you met in person, but there's a lot of sick people out there. And you have to try your best to be mindful and cognizant of who you're dealing with and the type of environment that we're in right now. Which I shouldn't say right now. I mean, this has been going on for a long time, but, you know, social media, dating apps, you know, this is, you know, something that went from people, you know, a handful of people using it from time to time to where now a lot of people are using it. This is almost like the new norm. This is almost like this is how people just hook up with each other now. And this woman right here, Miss Erica Schultz, you know, she had a friend in her ear that was telling her, hey, don't do this. Don't meet up with him. You know, even when he just showed up to her house, you know, that was a red flag as well. And this guy right here took advantage of her condition. You know, my heart goes out to the family and friends that lost Miss Erica Schultz. Be safe, be careful out there. I've seen this too many times, especially, you know, me traveling to different countries where women go on these dates or they go out by themselves and they end up not making it back home because, you know, there are a lot of sick men, sick, perverted people out here. You know, this guy right here already had a wife and he decides to get on a dating app just to take the life of a young woman. For what? This is sad. Now, if you want to see more, subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment. Tell me how you feel about this article right here. If you want to read more about it, I'll leave the link in the description box below. If you want to support the channel, there's a link in the description box below for buymeacoffee.com. If you want to join the Discord, there's a link in the description for that in the comment section as well. I'll see you in the next video.